Hi everyone. This video is it's part of ACE 435, and we're going to discuss how to get data needed for homework or assignment 2 utilizing the pivot table. Then we're going to go through some quick tips on how to produce the report. So first, I have here 8 steps to get your data, but I think you guys already know that. But on Compass, you can download a file called PSD underline livestock, which is referring all the data that we're going to be using to generate the report. This file, it's a CSV file, so we're going to have to first convert it to an Excel file, which is pretty simple. As you can see, all data are using column A, separated by commas. So what we're going to do is highlight column A, common data, text to columns, delimit it, and we're going to select comma here. So delimiters, we're going to use comma as delimiters. Next, and finish. So basically, it will separate the text in different columns according to the commas on the file. Okay, it's done. And now we have all data that we need to work here. But we first need to understand and extract just the data that we're going to need. So for that, I have here 8 steps, very simple, for you to get the data for the assignment. So real quick, just a quick look here at the assignment itself. Basically, what we're going to do is a word survey of production, uses, and trade in beef. The assignment is going to be made out of 5 sections: consumption, production, exports, imports, and a brief summary. Consumption, it's actually your assignment 1, so you might want to just check on it and maybe fix something or change something, but you're going to basically paste it back on this assignment. And so we're going to be using on this section here production, export, and imports data. For that, first thing that we're going to do is highlight all data on the Excel file here. So just highlight all the columns here. Insert pivot table. We can select here a table range for you to look at. Click OK. It's going to pop up on a new sheet here, the pivot table for you to structure it or to set it. So we already did highlight the data, insert pivot table. Third, we're going to structure the table according to the data that we need. So over here, you can just see here pivot data fields. We're going to select commodity description, attribute description, and both of them here, when you select, they're ending up on either one of these 4 categories, but you want these two to be filters because we're going to be filtering the data to beef and then attribute description as well, which is either production, imports, or exports. We want also to select market year, which is the year that we're going to look at, and it goes on columns. We want as well country name, which is going to be on our rows. So we have here rows, years, and we can filter these 2 attributes here. And finally, we want value on the values field here. So now we're looking at all years, all values that we have, and all countries. What we're going to do is filter here. Just let me go back here. We already chose our structure. So now we're going to just go ahead on step 4 and use the filter to choose the kind of data you need. So now we're going to select production, consumption, import, and export. Again, you're going to have just to do it for production, imports, and exports because you already, I mean, hopefully you already did it for homework one. So just select here. For this particular example that you guys are going to do, you're going to select meat, beef, and veal. This is the commodity that you're looking for. So table is already filtered, and we want to add another attribute here or another filter, which is exports, for instance, or let's start reproduction. Okay. Now we already have all data that we need here. Something else, we don't want you to trace it back all the way to the 60s, the trends and everything. So you can click here on column labels, and you can just select the data that you want. I think it makes it easier. You could copy and paste all the data and then delete it, but I think it's easier to set your structure, and then you're gonna just need to change the filters and copy and paste again. So 2000 to 2020 here. And if you want, you can click here on column V here, 2020, right click, sort, largest to smallest. So that way it's sorted by 2020. Okay, after doing that, let's get back here. We just filter columns together. Here's the one we just did. Highlighted that, the data, copy and paste as value on a new sheet. So basically we're gonna highlight it all. I don't want this column grand total. I mean, you can have it, but we're not gonna be using it. And the very last row, grand total, it's a sum of all of them. It will be your word production. So if you want to add it, that's okay. Otherwise, you're going to have to sum it again after getting it. So just copy, create a new sheet here. I'm going to name it production. And you want to make sure just that you can paste special or here paste as values. Okay, if it doesn't show up for you, you can just click on paste special, select values, and OK. So now you have all the data that you want, that you're going to be needing to generate each session of the report. Okay, you can delete, you can select those counters and do the graphs and so on. So we're going to go back. Now select, instead of production, we're going to select exports. It's already structured, so since we defined it, I'm going to copy that, new sheet, export, paste as values. Sheet 1, imports, and select all the data, copy, new sheet, imports, paste as values. There we go. Now you already have this 3 sheets here with the data that you're gonna be working with on assignment 2. And just to finish here, I want quickly to summarize what we're looking for on homework 2. You guys did homework 1. I think you can check the answer key on that. But basically, you're going to have 4, let's say here, homework 1s together. You can use your consumption. You don't need to redo it. But I encourage you to look at your feedback, your grade, and feel free to improve it. But otherwise, you can just copy and paste here. And you're going to be doing the same thing. One graph of the word, for instance, production. Second graph is going to be 4 major production countries, in this case for beef. And another one, which is going to be called all others. They're going to be That is going to be the sum of all other countries but the four major ones. Table 1, share of, in this case, production per country. Same thing as you did for homework 1. So pretty straightforward. Same thing for production, exports, and imports. You're going to be writing paragraphs as well. Just a quick tips. Remember, when describing the change, to use the CAGRs or the yearly changes. You don't say consumption increased. You say how much. So you support your argument with CAGR. And be also specific while describing. A growth in the share of production is different than a growth in production. Okay, a country can have a growth in production, but because other countries grew more, its share can actually decrease. So be specific on your paragraphs in your writing. Okay, and finally, the fifth section is a summary, brief summary. Okay, just discussing what happened overall with these commodity trades. Okay, and try to link that with factors discussed in class. I think that's useful. Again, you don't need to just repeat everything you said or just copy and paste random, or not random, but a bunch of sentences. We just want a quick one paragraph. Where is this commodity coming from? Where is it going for? Who is exporting? Who is importing? And maybe why are they doing that? So with that, wish you all good luck, and hopefully it was helpful for you guys. Bye.